We all know it's not about whether we win or lose, but it is about how we play the game. And it's always nice to know when the game is coming to a close. This week, Mars finally stations direct, and we get to enjoy this pivotal moment because it means that a major chapter is coming to a close. And we get to now integrate that information, put it all together, and start to plan and plot how we're gonna move forward. Hello and welcome. This is the Astrology of the Week Ahead podcast, and I am your host, Chani Nicholas. All right, y'all, we talked a lot about starting slowly this year because Mars isn't stationing direct until Thursday, January 12th, and Mercury is still retrograde. It will be retrograde until next week. Wednesday, the 18th, is the day that Mercury stations direct. So, while this week marks the end of a chapter for us, we know that as planets station, as they pivot, as they start to go forward, they're also like moving slowly and pulling focus. So, it's the closing of Mars retrograde. We still have to wait another week until Mercury stations direct. And this is also the time of year, the time of January, where we're going to start to feel things shift. We're going to start to feel things unlock. It's not like they move forward super fast, but it is that point of stillness. And we might even think about that metaphorically, because as planets station direct, they move really slowly. And so it's almost like moving slowly before we pivot in the next direction. And so, yes, it marks the end. And yes, the planet will start to move forward again. But we want to take this invitation as, again, a point of stillness. Now, again, Mars is in Gemini. It is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is not pivoting to station direct until January 18th. So this moment from January 12th to January 18th is still one where we're kind of collecting data. We're finding a lot of relief, quite possibly in the stillness. And we're going to wait until January 18th and beyond to start to really put our plans into action if we have control over it, if it's up to us. So we're still in the take it slow part of the year. Gather all the intel. Reflect on what this last little moment has been for you, this last Mars retrograde. Mars started retrograding on October 30th. If you want a little reminder, that's when a certain musky person took over the Bird app and everything started to kind of unravel. So there's been a lot of stuff about communications. Obviously, there has been a lot of lessons about our collective organizing, how we communicate online in collective spaces, and what that means for us when billionaires buy up our really important platforms. Okay, so let's go through the week beat by beat and see what it has in store for us. So on Monday, January 9th, we actually have a really nice setup. Venus is making a trine to Mars. So Venus is in Aquarius and it's assisting Mars, and Mars is assisting Venus. So this is a lovely little signature as Mars is pivoting and stationing direct a couple days later. So it feels like there's help, right? There's help as we are gathering things, getting our things together, and like getting off this retrograde bus. So it feels like relationships get a little boost, and we get to remember how important it is to connect, to be there for one another, and to help each other out as we are going through this pivotal moment. And then on Thursday, January 12th, Mars stations direct. And this day might feel like a little extra Mars retrograde station direct mayhem because the planet is pulling focus. So the biggest story this week is going to be Martian in nature, meaning it's going to be about how we communicate because it's in Gemini, about difficulties and challenges, and how we might come to some sort of solution. And again, it might amplify some of the conflicts that we have been straddling or holding space for. Always with Mars and its retrograde and its station direct, we want to give things a little bit more spaciousness, and we want to be in relationship with our life through the lens of curiosity. What could this mean? Am I agitated? Why? Am I angry? Why? I don't want to not validate my feelings, but I definitely want to be curious about what they are, why they are, and where they come from. I'll also be watching what kind of headlines come up during the end of the week, especially as they're connected to communications, as they're connected to conflict, as they're connected to people with important Gemini placements. You know the deal. Then on Friday, the Sun and Neptune make a sextile. Very lovely, very dreamy, very supportive, really sweet for an out of office early Friday moment. It's here to be enjoyed. And then on Saturday, Venus makes a square to Uranus, which could encourage us to seek pleasure in a new way, to innovate and update in regards to how we are working in relationships. And it might cause a couple of disruptions in terms of our ability to connect with the people that we love and care about. And it's ultimately a little lesson, might be a large lesson, might just be a tiny little lesson in how to radically center our needs, which is always an important lesson. All right, y'all, that's it. It's a quick little update. It's a big moment, like it's a very important moment for the beginning of 2023. This is one of the more pivotal situations that we have in January for sure. Next week, when Mercury also stations direct, we'll start to pick up steam. Again, this week, we're still recommended to take things slow, like the train, the car has been jostled, things have maybe fallen. The things that you put in the overhead compartments may have shifted. So when you're opening it all up and gathering your things to get off this retrograde train, just be a little cautious. It's still Mars. It's still here to mess around with all of us and be a little surprising. I want to thank you all for leaving a review in the App Store. It means so much to us. Here's one called A Very Special Corner of the Internet. Great for astro vets and beginners. Chani offers a really refreshing approach to astrology that, to me, I think centers community and self-alignment. I look forward to the weekly readings every week and have started taking notes and studying what is shared. Wealth of information on this app. Chani and her team truly created something special with this. Thank you for everything you've done and continue to do for us star nerds. Heart. All right, I'm sending you lots of love, many, many blessings. Bye for now.